in my custom WWF shirt, so
Yeah.
that's how we roll.
You got that. I got my Bald Wire Deathmatch shirt from AEW, and
Oh my
has
gosh.
whatever he has.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you were telling us some of the guys about that belt you got signed.
That one back there. Yes, sir.
Yep.
It's got all kinds of autographs.
You lucky son of a gun.
And we're gonna have the guy on here tonight that was actually he helped set up that whole thing. So that's gonna be awesome to be able to talk to him.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that.
And he's got we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about his the next one, which is in October. He's already got names already signed up. Sergeant Slaughter's gonna be there.
What? There we go.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
You never know. Maybe the Wrestle Talk podcast will be there. I can get.
You never know where we're lurking. You know, I'm telling you.
Exactly.
Well, what do you say before we kick off the show? What do you say we do a little national anthem here?
Let's do it.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, say, can you see? And the rocket, red flag. Uh-oh. I'll make up for it now. For the land of the free.
I'm telling you, there's a tear to my eye every single time. But yeah, you know, maybe in October we'll get Hardcore Hots to buy you and Drake Lee and the night a plane ticket and set you up in the Marriott and
oh man,
all on Hardcore Hots' bill.
Alrighty.
I think Drake Lee's the one that has all the money. Drake should pay
but you
for
know
it.
You know
but he ain't gonna share it.
You know that if it's Drake Lee, it's gonna be like the cheapest train ride. You guys are gonna be staying at a Fleabag motel. Gonna have to check to make sure that there's no bed bugs, because you know he's pretty tight with his money.
Yeah, he'd be pretty stingy with that chump change he got working with. Oh my god!
All at the Joe Lance Inn. How's that?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that'll work out great.
Well, I must say, you know, we talk about the Wrestle Talk podcast. Let me tell you, I think it is not only one of the most popular podcasts, wrestling podcasts in the world, hell, podcasts in general, but it's one of the fastest growing and fast rising. And it is thanks to the following sponsors: Everything Combat, Kincaid, Esports Bar KC, Interstate 70 Sports Media, Royal Mills Transportation, Painter's Dream Productions, and of course the FWWC. And Hoss, I know you love plugging the glass, so go for it, buddy.
Yeah, you can't forget about Rathbun Engraving, where you can pick up your very own Wrestle Talk mug with your name on it, and it's a high quality, bar quality mug, let me tell you. And it's only like $25, and so you can't forget about them. And if you don't have one, you should. So just hit up Joe or Renee or myself, Maestro, any of us, and we'll take care of you.
Always. All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think it's time we get into some high spots.
Let's do that. Let's into some high spots.
Mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk podcast. DJ Money.
Whew, that was beautiful. All right, so let me tell you something. We have breaking news coming out from WWE, and no, it is not coming out of a trash bag. So, all right. So, the night after WrestleMania 37, they shifted their SmackDown and Raw announce teams, and a lot of people weren't too thrilled with it. And one of the new lead announcer for Monday Night Raw was Adnan Virk, who is a well-known and very talented sports commentator, analyst and announcer. Well, the transition, at least in my opinion, didn't work so well to WWE's expectations, and it has finally come to an end, as today it was announced that they have mutually parted ways with Adnan Virk. And it was a brief statement on the company website thanking him for his tenure. But, I mean, honestly, and Joe, I've mentioned this to you in the past, that in my opinion, Corey Graves has been carrying that broadcast team ever since the switch-up began.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. I like Corey Graves. I know a lot of people don't like Corey Graves, but I think that him as a commentator is really, really good, and he knows what he's doing, and he knows how to get that heat. A lot of people are complaining, that the WWE is all about this three-man thing, but yet, if you just had Corey Graves and Byron Saxton, there would be nothing but fighting between the two of them, because that's
right.
all that they would be doing. You kind of got to have a third person to kind of mellow everything down.
The mediator.
A mediator. It's like when you've got the Maestro and Drake Lee hosting the show. You kind of got to have a mediator, because they're always going to be taking jabs at each other, but I totally understand why it didn't work out. I don't really think he was a good fit. I don't really think he knew exactly what he was doing at first.
Right. I think it's just because this is the thing. I mean, I'm not going to act like anybody can announce sports, because obviously every sport's different. And you have to have some charisma and knowledge for the sport. But announcing professional wrestling is a whole new ballgame. And, when you're going from sports straight into the sporting world of professional wrestling, it's a big transition. And I just personally didn't think he fit the transition well. And I didn't like when they booted Tom Phillips to 205 Live, because Tom Phillips is one of my favorite announcers, especially in WWE. So, we'll see how it gets shifted up. But speaking of announcers that are not Drake Lee, thankfully, I think it's time we bring aboard our dear co-host friend, the one, the only, Chris Roedel.
Mr. Roedel,
What is up, Chris?
What's up, Joey? How's it going? How's it going, Joey, Jeremy? I haven't seen Joe in a long time.
That's right, you haven't. And yes, just in case you wanted to know, I am still a Snitch fan.
I'm so sorry.
After all these years, I'm still a Snitch fan. I'm still waiting for him to get his title shot.
Well, he blew it on Saturday, so, I mean...
He was cheated. He was cheated.
I'm sure he was. But can we go back to the Adnan Virk thing real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
It is very difficult to call professional wrestling. If you don't know it from front to back, it is really hard to call professional wrestling. And I mean, he didn't do bad, and I didn't hate him. I thought he did a really good job, but I was kind of mad that Tom Phillips got pushed back, because I like Tom Phillips. And I like Corey Graves. I agree. I actually am going to agree with Joe. Mark this down, mark the tape. I like Corey Graves. I think Corey Graves is one of the best color commentators since Jerry Lawler.
Marking it down. Oh my goodness gracious!
But yeah, it's awesome.
There you go. I never thought it's it. May 25th, 2021, folks. Chris Roedel likes Corey Graves. Big time fan of him.
And agrees with Joe Lance. How often does that happen?
I forgot. And agrees with Joe Lance. Honestly, that's a bigger shock to me than the liking of Corey Graves.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about Corey. He know. Well, one, I mean, being a former wrestler, he knows what to get over. So
Right.
Right.
But yeah, it was kind of a shock when I saw that today. I wasn't expecting that. I wonder what they're going to do. I don't think Corey Graves and Byron Saxton can handle it together. So I'm going to guess that probably Tom Phillips is going to be back on there unless they're going to put Cole on both shows.
I
would rather see Mario Ranalli. I loved Mario. I thought he was great in NXT. But
I love listening to Mario.
He has so much freaking passion, but I don't think he has the mental.
It's
ability.
Taxing. It's a very taxing business.
Very, very taxing. Yes.
And dealing with an asshole like JBL does not help.
No,
honestly,
that's true. So, are you guys excited? Are you guys excited for Double or Nothing this weekend?
Yeah,
I am. I mean, it's amazing that it was 2 years ago today that the first Double or Nothing occurred, and I remember the Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes match. The Casino Battle Royal and everything. Omega and then John Moxley appearing against Jericho, just everything that happened. And I'm thinking to myself, how far AEW has come since this happened, since Double or Nothing. It was all spearheaded, honestly, from this belief that if you're not WWE, you can't sell out a big arena. And within 10 minutes, an arena was sold out. And, the event wasn't just a sold-out event. It was a successful event that the crowd and the critics praised almost unanimously. The matches were phenomenal, and here we are 2 years later. AEW has multiple shows now. There's still work that needs to be done for the company. We know that. I personally feel while the wrestling's exceptional, and bear with me when I say this, I do feel like there needs to be some more character-esque development with some of the wrestlers.
They seem to have a lot of stables. I mean, I don't hate that. They got the Inner Circle, the Pinnacle, the Nightmare Factory. I think it could be overkill, but I mean, it should be a good show. Omega, Pac, and Orange Cassidy is probably going to be really good. So
I think so.
The only thing I have an issue with in AEW is this whole thing of they are constantly having, if I lose, then we have to break up. They did it.
I agree with that.
They did it with the Young Bucks. If the Young Bucks didn't win the championship, they had to break up. Then they did it with SCU. If SCU lost, they had to break up. Now, at this pay-per-view, if the Inner Circle loses, they have to break up.
No, I understand that. And, I mean, I understand why that wouldn't exactly be a popular thing. Chris, to your point about the stables, I do agree. While it can be kind of overkill seeing so many different wrestlers joining all these different groups, especially with like Hangman Adam Page, for example, and his allegiance with the Dark Order, for example. I think also on a positive, it's a good way for wrestlers that normally wouldn't have screen time to get that exposure. Even if they're not wrestling, even if they're just, their presence is there, it's that airtime, and then fans would be like, well, I want to see what this person could do, And I mean, and I'm just going to be honest, the fact that they signed Brody Lee's son to a contract and then said when he's old enough, if he wants to wrestle, we'll take care of him, and he's on TV occasionally, still associated with the Dark Order and everything, I think is absolutely heartwarming.
I agree. And they gave him, and apparently didn't they give him his own theme music this past week?
I believe so. I believe they did.
They gave him his own theme music. They gave him the TNT Championship, which,
oh man, that
it makes me wonder if AEW is going to Dynamite to TBS, are they going to change the name of that title? Because you're not going to have it the TNT title if they're on TBS.
Well, they said what I read. They said they aren't going to change it, but I mean,
they could make it just exclusive to TBS.
It could be a Turner title. Like you could change it to a Turner title.
Here's a good one: the Turner title. That actually would be kind of interesting. So yeah, it's interesting. So it's interesting to see. I'm excited for Double or Nothing. Apparently, they're planning a unique live experience for the Stadium Stampede match, which has grown to be one of the most popular matches AEW has ever aired.
Look, remind me, was that the match last year that was that the match last year that one of the Young Bucks did like destroyers all the way down the field or like suplexes all the way down the field in Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the one. And so they're planning that one again. And like Joe said, it's one of those things where once again, and I agree to his point on this one about how if the inner circle loses, they must disband, and we see that constantly on AEW programming. But, I also like one thing I will say about AEW as well, that to their credit, it's not
the breaking up thing. It's a crutch. It's like, if you want to break people up, that's fine, but you don't have to make it a stipulation of a match. It's a crutch.
Right. You don't have to. But what I was going to say to their credit, because this week is basically the 2-year anniversary week for AEW.
Yeah.
So what I want to give them the props on is, they are taking part in something that we have not seen on a grand scale in a long time, and that is that breaking of that forbidden door, that forbidden wall of cross promotions. Now, you can see this with independent wrestling all the time, but the fact that AEW, Impact Wrestling, and New Japan all are working together, putting on shows, having cross title matches with each other and such, putting on events that work with each other, while you just have WWE, who's just WWE. It's an interesting take, in my opinion.
But apparently, one of the new executives in WWE is, trying to reform things, take things out of the dark ages, so you never know. You might see WWE do something with I'm not saying they're going to do something with AEW, but maybe MLW or maybe NWA.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
And hey, if they do something with AEW, then hey, that's fine. That's fine too. I mean, back in the day, did you really think that the WWE and ECW are going to work together? I mean, did you really expect? Did you expect the Eliminators to show up at the Manhattan Center and take out the production guy? I mean,
I never expected WCW to go to North Korea, but apparently they did. I didn't remember that whatsoever.
I never heard of that before the Dark Side of the Ring episode last week. I'll be honest, I never heard of there being that type of event. And
I remember them promoting Collision in Korea, but for some reason I thought it was actually in South Korea. It's in Seoul, but I didn't realize it was in Pyeongchang, and I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, it was North Korea. Like they were in an element that they did not expect to be in. Like the TV only had 3 channels, and they were all political. And Road Warrior Hulk almost got stabbed by Too Cold Scorpio. And
I love that was probably one of my favorite things in the world. I was like, wait. They didn't like each other? I'm like, oh my god! I'm not sure I'd want to mess with Road Warrior Hawk, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Hawk's the type of guy that would literally have no problem. Like Jim Cornette said, taking out an eyeball and eating it, or doing all kinds of other crazy stuff. So I'm thinking when I see Too Cold Scorpio wanting to stab him and pick a fight, I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like what?
and can we just say that Scott Norton still looks like he could beat everybody up in the world?
He probably could. He could probably body slam Hardcore
Yes.
Haas.
He looks in great shape. Yeah. And I
Apparently,
got a kick out of
from what I
you know,
understand,
from
Scott
the
Norton.
ring.
Scott Norton, honestly, has apparently a whole bunch of stories about North Korea that didn't make the air. So
I'm excited about Thursday's episode, The Ultimate Warrior.
it's gonna be the opposite of what we saw on Sunday, probably.
Right? It's gonna be it's gonna be a episode where it's
gonna be a good
like
one.
it's gonna be almost like the
That'd be a good
destruction
episode
of the
indeed.
Ultimate Warrior. I remember that. The destruction of the Ultimate Warrior.
I actually own that DVD. I have it in my DVD collection. So
Yeah, I have it somewhere.
I mean, I also have the Chris Benoit DVD that they stopped making. And
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
the Hard Knocks, I think it was called. But yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
I like the
That'll
Dark
be,
Side of the Ring. I like Dark Side of the Ring. I also like the WWE biographies that they've been doing.
Mhm.
And I like the Treasure Show too. I mean, they could just do something at the warehouse where, you know.
Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I like seeing that type of things. Well, this is my thing about the and I brought this up last week as well. You know, I feel like the Dark Side of the Ring. I'm a fan of this series. I think it's outstanding, and it's great that the production team goes great lengths to talk about these controversial stories and or legends of wrestling.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're basically getting, in my opinion, if anybody disagrees, feel free to, just kind of that WWE spin on the A&E biographies. And, and I feel like if the Dark Side of the Ring didn't exist, I honestly don't feel like the A&E biographies would exist. Because look at this season of Dark Side of the Ring. What do we got? We got the Ultimate Warrior. And then what do we got on the A&E? We got the Ultimate Warrior.
I wonder if it was planned that way or if that's just the way it worked out. I wonder if Dark Side of the Ring moved up their Ultimate Warrior episode to coincide with the A&E episode, or if the WWE said, okay, we got to get this out first. And,
Right.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, the WWE Treasure series, I was a little, when they did the Lawler episode, I was a little taken aback that one of the collectors had the shirt that Jerry Lawler was wearing the night that he had the heart attack on the air. I mean, I kind of found it was a little unnerving, it's all good though. I mean, I like these biography shows. The Dark Side of the Ring spawned a new series, Dark Side of Football, that I've been watching. So
yeah, that's
and that's actually been pretty good. The Bill Belichick episode is really really good. the hoodie.
The hoodie.
Oh my gosh. Well, I do got to say on another topic that's just come out. I mentioned at the beginning of the high spots about the breaking news regarding the firing of Adrian Verk. Well, apparently that is not even remotely close to the only firing from WWE today. And this goes beyond, an on-screen talent. This is a lot of production,
and several executives too.
Right, I was just going to say, Executive Vice President J.R. Donlin has been let go after 8 years within the company. And, it's amazing that even though WWE has had near record profits in the past year and a half, they are really struggling with things backstage in the sense of maintaining some type of I don't know. I wouldn't say so much composure as much as consistency, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like why do these people have to fall on the sword? I mean, I know that I realize everybody's consolidating now because you didn't quite make as much money as you thought you were going to make. But I mean, honestly, did the WWE really lose that much money? I mean, the only building costs they've had to pay is at Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay, and then wherever they were, Tropicana Field, they played rent there, and I think they're at Yangling Center somewhere in Florida. I mean, yeah, they didn't get their touring, but I don't know. It is what it is. Speaking of WWE, what do you guys think about this John Cena thing? With this, he recognized Taiwan as a country, which is apparently a no-no in China.
What isn't a no-no in China, though? Let's be real.
Good point. But yeah, and he had to go on and apologize, and he just misspoke. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's China. I guess that's all you can really say. I guess the Wrestle Talk podcast isn't going to be shown in China this weekend.
We do have some an audience from China for I-70 Sports. I don't know if that's going to continue after this little segment, but I mean, yeah, words get twisted. They get taken out of context all the time. Obviously, there's those boundaries you don't want to cross. But when there's so many countries in the world, trying to maintain that same sense of trying to gain respect from every country is going to be difficult,
I mean, if you hear Taiwan, you think that they're their own country when they're a territory or whatever they are of China. You kind of think the same with Hong Kong. It's like it's too. I mean, China takes themselves way too seriously.
Right, and so I guess John Cena is just not going to do a game show in China anytime soon.
Right.
No Beijing Extreme Water Sports show. So.
No mail today.
Well, guys, looks like our first guest is waiting.
Bring him on.
You guys
bring
excited?
him on. Bring him up. Bring him on. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, especially one thing. I want to get his opinion on something.
Damn right, we got a lot to talk about.
Dynamo back
to talk about. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, all right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the Dynamo Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. He regained it on April 20th, 2019, and he says he wants to face the best competition there is, and he has beaten the best competition there is ever since. And he successfully defended his title just this past Saturday, but we are going to talk more about that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestle Talk podcast. Let's out Adrian Surge.
What's going on, y'all?
What's going on?
What's up, Surge? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. I'm happy to be here. Happy to see you guys. It's been a minute.
How's it going, Adrian?
What up, man?
I have one quick question. It was Dynamo's first show back. How good did it feel to walk out that curtain the first time?
Interestingly enough, it felt like a full circle moment for me, because for me, my actually first appearance at that show was helping out Makazi, the former Makazi, Sadie Blaze, and that's like that it takes me back to day one. So like to be off for so long and then to go help basically my trainer and mentor guy, it was pretty dang cool, man. When you heard your music and you knew it was your match, that had to be a great feeling. Oh yeah. Like I knew it was gonna be pretty big when we came back, and then just the show that we had. But yeah, walking through that curtain, man, I've been waiting to do that for a year at Dynamo, so over a year actually. So yeah, dude, it was crazy, and there was no way I was gonna lose. When I heard that music, I was like, "Ain't nobody stopping me tonight, friends." Sorry. So
well, the match was really good with Ben. I mean, I don't think you two have faced each other before, have you?
No, we've never even touched. Yeah, we've never even locked horns before in any capacity. Never really trained together or anything. So yeah, it was the first time we stepped in a ring together.
Cool.
That's awesome.
There you go.
So-
It's great that wrestling is finally starting to, and we've talked about this in the past couple weeks, but it's great that the promotions are really starting to get back into the swing of things, because it's not just something that the wrestlers and the promoters miss, but absolutely it's something the fans, like all of us here, have especially missed. You know, being able to get out there and see companies like Dynamo Pro, World League Wrestling, you know, so on and so forth, get out there and pour their heart and soul into what they do best, and that is wrestle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I have to ask, how's it feel to still be the champ? Like, holy crap, there you go.
It's kind of nuts, man. I hit the 2-year mark not too long ago. It kind of feels a little weird. You know, obviously we went through a pandemic, but I think that if anything, it was just kind of like an ability to reset for me of like, all right, you know, I was doing all right. I was actually on quite a roll, in my opinion, like right before the pandemic, went through some really rough kind of challengers and some pretty big threats. So I kind of wanted to just pick up where I left off. That's why I thought it was really fitting. We did a battle royal to determine the #1 contender. It's like, I want the best, so the best can prove themselves and then step up. And I think that's what we accomplished. So I'm looking forward to some challengers and things coming up. But yeah, man, I'm stoked.
So in the locker room, we had our pre-show. You pre-show. You know, everybody got together and all this. What were your feelings when they announced that the Battle Royal was going to be in Keon Option's name, is the annual Keon Option Memorial Battle Royal? I mean, I know you were friends with Keon, so how did that make you? How did that feel? Because I know how I felt, and I kind of had a tear, you know, whenever his music played with the first 5 guys that came out. So
yeah, I got hyped for that. When they announced it, I had no idea. They kept that from me too. So
I didn't.
And I think it was for genuine emotion, right? Like it's such a cool moment. And anyone that knows Keon, like the dude was he was a great wrestler, great performer, but he was truly a really, really, really fantastic person. One of the greatest people I've ever met personally in my life. And so for them to do that, to kind of surprise the boys with that, I thought was really, really cool.
I didn't know, like you said, I didn't know anything about it until I walked in when Jim came up to me. He's like, so tonight you're going to announce it as the first annual Keon Option Battle Royal. And then Crystal took over that. So,
Yeah.
But that's fine. That she should. And to have Keon's mom in the audience was probably one of the best things that could have happened, because Keon's mom apparently did not know that it was going to be the Battle Royal was named after her, or after him. So
yeah, it was an awesome moment. It's one of those things that you look forward to. It's why we're in the business. You know, we pay tribute to the greats and the good people that have come through, and then we try to do them the honor as we go out there and kind of put our performances and our bodies on the line. And I thought that was really cool. Like, I got to go out and defend against the first Keon Option Battle Royal winner. Like, that's a cool moment. His mom being there, that's a cool moment. It's letting that guy's legacy kind of still live through, which is awesome.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know, like you said, wrestling is, especially these days, it's very heartfelt when you pay tribute to those who paved the way, those who had an impact on the current wrestlers, you know, that helped inspire you, that train you, and so on and so forth. And, you know, Chris, when you brought up the fact that his mom didn't even know that they were going to have the Battle Royal, Memorial Battle Royal in his honor. That, I mean,
yeah, we were according to what Crystal and Jim were telling me, that we were originally supposed to start it last year, but I mean, you know, the world shut down, so it's like you can't. I mean, but so this should have been actually the second annual Keon Option Battle, but it was the first one. It's going to happen around this time every year. I mean, honestly, I don't know if Serge got to watch any of it, but we got new rookies that came in. The first 5 were all rookies and training at the dojo. And I'm going to tell you, we got an impressive crop of rookies that came from the dojo. The first 5, and then no role models. I mean, they were just all. I don't know. Did you get a chance to watch any of the first 5 people in the Battle Royal?
I did. I got to actually talk to some of them too before and after. I thought, which it kind of wrapped up kind of the show. I thought really, really well. We're coming back after a year. It's kind of like a reset in a way, and it's we're kicking off the show with a little tribute to the old and to some of the classics and some great people. That being Keon, and then hey, here's a new crop of talent that have really kind of like separated themselves and really earned a shot. So I thought it was a really cool moment to blend kind of the folks in the past to the people and it's like our future, which is really, really cool. But no, there's some really, really solid talent. I think the big one to talk about is No Role Models. That whole group, they've really kind of grabbed their opportunity and have really run with it so far, which is awesome.
And the big guy that they have with them, Eli Rossi, he was dominant in that battle royal for a while. I mean, he stood up. He stood up to Jeff Hyde. I mean, and Jeff, he's a big guy, and I mean, but
Eli's ready to pounce
on
the competition. If anyone saw that, he pounced the hell out of somebody.
Outcast put over No Role Models really big because he raised their hand after the match, and Outcast, he doesn't do that, right out. But he was like, these guys are legit, they're gonna have titles soon. So, and Eli's probably gonna come for your title, and I mean,
hey, bring him, man. I need some competition, and he can try the pounce. I'll put his lights out. So
there you go. Now, if I would have been there, which I'm all the way in West Virginia, the match that I would have wanted to see was the Wind of Discretion Makazi against Sadie Blaze. Because I know that was a match that was like, it's been like a while in the making. So, I mean,
Blood
how
feud.
did that match go?
Blood feud.
There's a lot of uncertainty there, especially like with how everything kind of went down. It goes back. I mean, if we're being honest, it goes back basically 2 years ago to when I won the title. Me and Makazi, or Sadie, when he was Makazi at that time, like he was forced to retire because of the stipulations of that match, right? And then out of nowhere, the very next show, as he's delivering his kind of retirement speech, the Makazi the second, I don't know what we're calling him at this point because it's such an anomaly, but he attacks him, and this whole kind of hit and run kind of sequence has happened, and lots of drama, and then bringing Cindy back into this whole thing has just been it was kind of like no pun intended, but a wind of destruction to try to like sort out, right?
So after the match was over, you said that was your first chance to come out of the locker room. You didn't have your title. It was just you. You stopped Makazi from walking to the back, and you're just like, was this a comeuppance just to or to pay tribute to Sadie, or?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. When Makazi, aka Sadie, had to retire because of our match, he came to me and I gave him my blessing that I would waive that stipulation so he could take care of business. And I think that night was his chance to, hey, you know what? We started this. You need to finish it. And if I was happy to kind of help give them the nudge to really finish off, that whole situation.
And to when you revealed when the mask came off,
that dude is ugly. First of all, just saying.
Did it really surprise you that it was a former Dynamo Pro Wrestling official that it was? Did that surprise you, or it was referee Scott? Just so you know, referee Scott Ramsey was the one that was under the mask and stole Makazi's gimmick. So, I mean, did that surprise you, or?
I had no idea who it was going to be. There's obviously some sort of backstory there. I hope we can learn about it soon. I just hope that he is smart now that he has already felt the wind of destruction for the original wind of destruction. If he wants to try to come pick a fight with me, he's going to be sorely disappointed with the results. But I was shocked because there's got to be something there, right? Like, I don't know what the backstory is, but I'm hoping that we'll all find out. But Sadie deserves to go out on top in his way and how he wants. And so, for me to be able to kind of mend fences, so to speak, with him, kind of after all the years and after all the kind of turmoil of a relationship that we've had, was kind of a cool moment for him to be able to just kind of go out on his terms, and we'll kind of see where that leads.
He's definitely a Midwest Independent Hall of Famer. He should be first ballot, no matter. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so.
Absolutely. I mean, the one thing that upset me was, of course, Chris Roedel's favorite wrestler, the Snitch. Obviously he didn't. I love talking about the Snitch.
That's where all that gray hair came from.
Right? Oh my goodness. So, could you ever see yourself facing the Snitch, Adrian? Because I know that he's always going after the titles.
Yeah, I get tagged in some stuff on social media a lot of times. I've always just kind of held like my standard of, hey man, like you want a match, just come like ask me nicely. Like don't these cryptic tweets and stuff. I'm like, I just come and ask me, man. Like I want to face the best. If you feel like you're the best, let's go.
I want to state this: Dynamo Pro Management is not out to get the Snitch. I mean.
Not at all.
Would disagree.
Probably it's been.
But Chris is a fan, so we can't deny.
I am not a fan. There was no speech this time. Because he was in a battle royal, so he couldn't pontificate. But I heard about it afterwards, and like you said, I got tagged on social media about something. So. I don't know. I mean, he wants your title. I mean, all he's got to do is ask you. I know you're going to give him a match. So, I mean.
Yeah, I never see him. Like, I never see him backstage or any of that kind of stuff. But he talks all this, trash on social media. I'm like, bro, like I've told you multiple times, like just come talk to me. Like we'll go I'll make the match. Like you don't even got to work through the management side of things. I don't know. He's making it hard on himself in some way, shape, or form.
What did you think of Ricky Cruz and Super Crazy on Saturday night?
I mean, talk about a classic, wrestling match with two guys that have been in the business for so long. It just had the crowd eating out of their hands. It was a cool moment. I was really excited to be a part of this show just for that. I've been a fan of Super Crazy as long as I can remember with ECW and then eventually WWE.
He can still throw that moonsault, though. He's still got that perfect moonsault. He hit it twice.
Let me tell you, some of those guys that look like, man, they ain't going to be able to hit that. Just picture perfect every time. I could rattle off names, but just, seeing that in person was just like, he is awesome, man. He is something else.
And I know before the break, before everything shut down, we did our show with the Roller Girls and the roller derby team, and you had a match with Camaro Jackson.
Yeah, I
mean.
that.
Can we revisit that? Can we like do that again? Because that was probably one of my favorite matches of 2020. Not that there was many that I could see live, but that was a great match. That was awesome. Camaro, you guys took it to the limit, and
Camaro is it's a lot of love-hate with me and him right now after that match. Mostly love. I've known him as he's come up, and just to say he's just on a skyrocket mission to the top of the business right now would be an understatement. The dude's working his tail off. He looks great. He's a young kid. He's
the quads.
Quads are, I mean,
he has quads for days.
But I mean, to say we beat the holy hell out of each other. Like I can't really there's no other way to put it. If you were there, if you watch the match, you can hear it. That match has to be. I was sore as hell for days after.
I was gonna say, how many days afterwards were you sore for?
Quite a few. Well, and you've seen me before. I'm pasty white, dude. I don't hide that fact. If you blow wind on me, it leaves a mark. So you can imagine what a dude that big freaking hitting me as hard as he can would do to my body. Which, I mean, to be honest though, I think it brought the best out of both of us. And if I got to be the bigger man, he was better than me for 3 seconds on that night. If we were to do a rematch, I guarantee that doesn't happen again. But I want that match badly.
I knew it was after that match. You're like, I can't wait for the rematch because right now he has the bragging rights and he's the D1 champion. You would think that the heavyweight champion would want the bragging rights, and it was one of my favorite matches of 2020. Not that, like I said, not that I saw many live matches in 2020, but that was a highlight, definitely a highlight.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed it because, I mean, I was there covering both the roller derby and the Dynamo Pro show, but I remember, whether it be a day or two before the show, Adrian, I had you on back before I-70 Sports became a big company, a conglomerate. It was just a podcast. I remember I had you on and we were talking about that upcoming match with Camaro Jackson and everything. And I mean, you were pretty much hyped for that. You were excited. I know, like you said earlier, you do have that deep respect with Camaro Jackson, but I know you I remember those red marks after that event, and let me tell you, I know you're looking for some payback on those, because I'm going to tell you that those chops last for days, man. Like, holy mackerel, that shit hurts.
Oh yeah, he hits like a truck. But I think that kind of hypes you up to do the same thing, and you could just hear it in that arena, the reactions. It was great. But I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. Like, I have had quite I've had a hell of a time as the champion. A little over 2 years now. There's only one blemish on that record that I haven't rectified, and that's him. So if that's coming, I don't know when, I don't know how, but it's coming. And I think he probably knows that too. It's going to happen.
Is there anybody else that you feel like, not so much maybe a blemish on your record over these past couple of years, but somebody you'd like to face? Because like you said, I mean, knowing you're always looking for the best. You're always looking for the top challengers, somebody who wants to step up to the plate. And, looking at some of the guys you've had faced off against in the past, Ace Hawkins, Mike Outlaw, Jimmy LaFleur, Shadows. I mean, you've gone up against this top competition. But is there anybody out there that you really haven't gone up against yet, or if not in a long time, that you feel you need to face?
I think there's going to be some new faces that come into Dynamo over the course of the next year that I'm really excited to see how they evolve and make a name for themselves. So there's a couple there that I'll kind of hold to the chest and kind of move on from there. But I think Camaro's at the top of the list because that's got to be rectified. And to be honest, he's earned a shot.
And I know who I personally would want you to see you face, and I've wanted to see it for a long time. So hopefully it happens. I want to see you and Ricky Cruz go one-on-one.
Yes.
Honestly, my thoughts go back to the old, like the glory Dynamo days from like 2013, 14, 15, and there was that trifecta of a rivalry between Mike Outlaw, who me and him had that storied rivalry over the last year. Ricky Cruz, we still have yet to face off. I think that would establish my reign if I could defeat him as well. And then I'll just throw Jake Durden out there for, I want to, if we can make that happen, and we could see that match. But just looking back, like if I can, I take great pride in the work that I put in and the reign that I have. There was that kind of golden period of Dynamo where those three were going at it, just cutthroat.
Yeah.
If
I could overcome those three pillars, that would establish myself, and that's what I'm here to do.
I told Ricky last week there was an 18 to 2 year period where where the only champions were either Outlaw, Cruz, or Durden, and and you talk about chops from Camaro. You've seen Ricky Cruz throw chops. I don't know if you really. I mean.
I'll say this: I've been in the ring multiple times with Too Tough Tony. I think I can at least maybe weather the storm from Ricky Cruz. I won't run away. We'll just put it that way. I won't run away.
I don't expect you to.
It's gonna look like a car wreck on my chest afterwards. I'm gonna walk in there knowing that. But if I got that title over my shoulder at the end, that's all that matters.
One question: if you could, I know you're the heavyweight champion and you're concentrating on that, but if you had to go after the tag titles and could pick one partner, who would you pick?
That's a good question. I look at guys that I've had over the course of the years that I've matched up with in the ring and everything. I think there's some really solid talent in Dynamo and in other spots that I've been. I think me and Camaro would be an interesting one. there's that thing there where I've got kind of the experience and he's got that kind of just young bull kind of just attitude. I think we could run through some people and really be a problem. Another guy that's going to be hopefully debuting here soon. That we're going to be a tag team, and things kind of got changed up at a different promotion. But his name's LVK. He and I have been kind of locked in a rivalry for years and years and years, to the point where we kind of just had this mutual respect and kind of wanted to take on the world as a tag team. That could happen. This could be something that we look back on of, hey, this kind of planted the seeds for something. But Camaro, I think, would be a really cool, interesting one. Just because I honestly, you put us on both sides of the ring, I don't know who beats us. Just throwing that out there. But the LVK is another really good one that we've had a rivalry in Missouri, Kansas City, St. Louis, obviously, Illinois, all over the Midwest. So that would be something interesting as well.
Yeah, I know you had a rivalry for a while up at other promotions with the Agents of Chaos, and obviously Big Vic is out for a while, and Shadow. Would you like to take on Xavier Shadows? Or as he's now called, just Shadows?
Yeah, it's interesting. He and I faced off, about 4 or 5 months before the pandemic, but he is definitely, there's something different about him. Like when I saw their match on Saturday, and I know it was under a very weird circumstances that he teamed with Outcast, but I don't know, there's just something different. I don't know, like maybe you see it too. There seems to be a little edge, or there's something off about him. And he's always, I feel like, had a screw loose anyway. Maybe the screw finally came out, and now we're seeing what's locked in there. But there's something different there, and I'm interested to see what that would be. I'm totally up for a rematch. I'll take on all comers. I don't really care who. And I know there's a lot of guys, especially now that we've reset, are going to be gunning for the different championships.
I was going to say, I don't think you're going to turn down anybody. If anyone, if like you said, like with the snitch, if anyone wants a match, just come ask.
Honestly, just ask, man. Like, let's do it.
I mean, imagine we could see Adrian Souza against Jackal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I have to ask you, Adrian. So I think my next one. All right, here we go. Being the heavyweight champion.
Yep.
Obviously you're the top dog when it comes to Dynamo Pro. What I want to ask you is, Chris was talking earlier, and you were talking earlier about the new crop of rookies that are at the dojo and how it's an impressive class of rookies on top of that.
Yep.
Do you feel, as the champion, you have any type of veteran leadership responsibility to that crop of rookies?
Absolutely. Honestly, if you don't, I don't know why you're in the business, because you're only in it for yourself. I think at that point, the whole point of being a guy, an established guy, and someone that's had success is because you kind of know what you're doing and you're a good resource for others. So it was kind of cool. It was kind of like this pigeons in Central Park kind of situation. So, a couple of the rookies came up and started talking to me, asking about a couple things. One guy was a little nervous, yada, yada. And it's like, sure enough, like I talk a little bit, we ask some questions, talk a little bit. And then sure enough, like 2 rookies becomes 3, becomes 4, becomes 5. And just like this whole circle kind of comes around. It's just really cool to be able to do that. And I think, guys should take pride in doing that. I think that old school mentality of figure it out on your own and, we'll beat you up for a little while. Like that's gone and unacceptable at this point. And I think being encouraging people to go out there to do their best to learn. That's the only way that we're going to get better. And it also, I think that's how we make better shows too, because if the younger guys know that some of the veterans are going to watch and give feedback and try to help them out, they're going to be that much more willing to go out there.
I did notice on Saturday that for most of the matches after the Battle Royal, if you looked over to the left, over to where where the audio table was and everything, it was pretty much a full house. It was everybody. It was everybody watching. They watched. I think they watched the whole second half of the show. The tag match. I know they all were watching your match, and they were watching the Ricky Cruz Super Crazy match. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that they were there for the Camaro match too, since Camaro is kind of the. I guess you would say the father.
He's their guy, man. Yeah, he's their guy. He's more than just their quad father. He's kind of their ring father, kind of in a way.
Him and Outlaw, and to Sadie as well. They've got this crop of rookies. They got them believing in themselves, and
that's important.
And I think that's why they're so good too. And I think I just, if any of them are out there, like, we don't just say that just because we're we got guys, we want to make sure we're kind of giving them props because they're doing some really great things. They're watching, they're listening, they're asking. I love working with newer and younger guys just because I like to be able to help the guys that are really hungry and want to help themselves. And I'm a part of, Dynamo has been great, and I'm a part of some other shows too where I see rookies and newer guys that are asking questions and watching matches and wanting to get better, and I see other guys, I just think they know everything already. And I'm not one to just bury those guys or get mad at them or anything like that, but I'm not as willing to help them if they're not willing to help themselves. And I think those are the people that we should focus on. And Dynamo's crop of talent's fantastic because they want to get better.
And I also know that if you saw something as you were watching a match, if you saw something that, hey, maybe you could just do this instead, you could take it to the next level. So, and I know you're willing to help people out, and just like everybody is, I can't 100%. tell you how many times I go back to the locker room, and as the ring announcer, I'm here, I see all the matches. So they're like, how did it look? How did it look? How did it look? How did it look? And I tell them, it's like, it looked good. You could have done that, I mean, I guess that's just because I'm out there the whole time and I see everything. So, I mean, I've talked to you about
habit to get into, and I'll still do it too.
Yeah, you've come up to me many times. You're like, so what'd you think? I'm like, oh, that was awesome. I mean, it told the story. So it's just that's what's missing is it seems like sometimes it's more of a spot fest than a storytelling thing.
Yeah, I really agree with that.
So, all right,
Joe, you got anything you want to add?
Man, it's just been freaking awesome having you on. Like, you've been on this podcast multiple times, and just you're always welcome onto the podcast. And I'm just excited to see what's next for Adrian Surge. Like, who's going to be next? Like whether it's you against Kamaru or you against Ricky Cruz, or maybe even a triple threat. Wow!
Stack them up. I'll lay them down. It's all good, man.
Man, imagine Adrian Surge's chest if it was Ricky Cruz and Camaro Jackson.
Yeah.
Hell,
y'all are wishing me.
Making Jake Durden against Ricky Cruz against Kamaru against Adrian Surge. There you go.
Oh man.
All right. So it was nice knowing Adrian.
Joe over here. There we go. Look at you.
Talk about it. That's a banger. You want to? All right, let's make it happen, Chris. Make it happen.
We got Booker on our hands over here with Nightmare Jones, folks.
But if
folks are tuning in to the Wrestle Talk podcast with the Dynamo Pro Heavyweight Champion, Adrian Surge. It is fantastic having you on. Your 2-year title reign. And I have one last question I have to ask you.
Cool.
Before we probably transition to the shoot and shout segment of our show. So, the pandemic was, in an understatement, hell. That is the bare understatement of this pandemic. What kept you going through the tough times in between the last Dynamo Pro show last year and the one just this past Saturday? What kept you, in your shape, kept you going?
Yeah, that's a great question. There was a lot of crazy stuff that happened just kind of in my own personal life that I had to kind of overcome. So yeah, to say it was hell, yeah, at times it absolutely was. I think there's some new training things and other activities that I've kind of implemented that have really, I think, kept me focused. But when I think kind of got over the hump of everything and really kind of got, I'm in a little bit better shape now. I was able to, knock a few pounds off and kind of get into a better zone. I think just getting ready to reinvent myself. What can I do differently? What's going to be a little bit different this time around? How am I going to evolve? How am I going to be better? And I think doing that has really helped my training and all that stuff. But taking care of the mental health is the biggest piece, man. If you can get a lot of just speak for myself, like I don't always kind of keep myself in the best, and by the time that I'm kind of off the rails a little bit, you feel it, man. Like I think in the pandemic, we all felt a little bit of that. So keeping that kind of in the forefront of my mind, and moving forward, that helped my training so much. So I'm hyped as hell. I've been imagining and looking at different scenarios in my mind about what I want to do when we got back, and now that we're finally back, it's like, all right, all this paid off. So I think just keeping focused, working on your own your body and your mind and all that stuff, I think has really helped. And there's guys that have been able to do that, and there's guys that are still working through that, which is awesome.
It really was great to hear the crowd when I came out at the very beginning to be like, it's been 15 months since we had a show, and I'm like, it's been 15 months and I can't wait to say this. Glenn Karp, how's everybody doing tonight? And then everyone gets all crazy, and it just felt good to be a part. I mean, everyone was social distance and mask wearing, but they still brought the energy. You could still feel it. So,
oh yeah. There's nothing like it, man. Just waiting a year to hear that crowd going, it was totally worth it, and it got me going. And to be honest, it was a cool match. It was a good night, and I'm looking forward to the next one as we really get back into the swing of things.
Real quick, was that your first match back, or did you have a match prior?
Second. I had the second show back. I've had a few matches. I've really wanted to kind of test myself physically. So the first show back, I actually did 3 matches.
Jesus.
It was a fun one. Yeah, it was. But I wanted to be ready as coming back as Dynamo champ, and I'm gonna be on a show with Ricky Cruz and Super Crazy. I got to be able to pull my own weight, man. But yeah, that was my second show back, first title defense. I'm excited for what's next.
And I don't think that's the last you're going to hear from Ben Truss. Ben Truss is going to be back in there. He's going to be back in the ring with you. So I just so you know. So I mean, he took it to you.
Hey, trust me when I say this. He can go. He can go. There's a bright future for that guy. He took me to the limit. Man, there's nobody that's really forced me away from my lights out finishing spine buster, man. But he forced me to go a different route. So, hey, I got to give him props for that. So,
I think overall the future isn't just bright for Benjamin Truss, but I also think it's bright for Dynamo Pro Wrestling as a whole. So,
absolutely,
look forward to seeing that. Well, gentlemen, you all ready for the shoot and shout?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the shoot and shout segment here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. For about 60 or so seconds, each one of us will be, how do I word it, saying whatever the hell we want, what's on our mind, whether it be good, bad, or ugly. And we're going to start with the OG of the WTP himself, Nightmare Jones.
Oh, man. What can I talk about? Like, I guess that my shoot and shout this week, it doesn't really have anything to do. Actually, you know what it does? It does have to do with pro wrestling, and that's the fact that every time that I go out to the ring, Joe Lance gets booed. And I don't know why I get booed, but I get booed every time I come out to the ring. It is absolutely... It's not right. It's not fair. I am the referee. I should not be getting booed. They should be cheering me. They should be groveling at my feet and thanking me for being there. But no, they boo me. They boo me.
Well,
me.
I have a feeling about that. It probably has something to do with you being a Stitch fan, but I mean,
it could be the fact you can't count to 3.
1, 2, 3, Haas. 1, 2, 3. And yes, before you even ask, even without my glasses, I can still see how ugly you are.
Oh, ooh, that hurts me, and he's not even talking about me. Okay, Chris, you wanna go next, my friend?
I just want to say how great it. Like I've said this probably way too many times tonight, but it was absolutely great walking out of that curtain last show, the show Saturday night for the first time in 15 months. It felt good. The energy was there. I could just feel it in my. I mean, I kind of had goosebumps. I had a tear in my eye when they were talking about about Keon, because I miss that dude so much. He's so awesome. But it just was great to see the fans again. I can't wait till we do it again. I know we're working on some things, so I can't wait. So it pumped me up. Saturday pumped me up.
Awesome. I can totally believe that. And I look forward to what they're going to do in the future. Well, for me, let's see. What do I got in store? Okay, here we go. So with this pandemic, like I said to Adrian earlier, to say it's been hell is an understatement. And we still are not finished. Yes, things are opening back up. Yes, there's a little sense of normalcy. Professional wrestling shows are going back. Stadiums are going to full capacity, or unless you're a Texas Rangers fan, I guess full capacity is about 300 people. But my biggest thing is you got to continue to play it safe, folks. You have to play it safe. Get vaccinated if you can. Wear a mask where they recommend, because we're still not through this just yet. And this is from someone who works in a nursing home and has seen a lot of good people suffer because of it. And we're finally going to start, we're starting to do activities again. We're starting to be able to eat in a dining room again, something they haven't done in a year. The fact they haven't done this in a year, it's wonderful. This isn't me being angry. This is me being genuine to those out there that aren't taking it seriously like they should. I'm asking you all, from the bottom of my heart, take this seriously, get vaccinated, and play it safe, because we got to get through this together, and each person will make an impact. And that's my thoughts on it. And now for our featured guest, Adrian, it's on you, my friend.
All right. Well, kudos to what everybody has said so far. I think kind of just to play off of all that, there's, things opening up. We still want to be smart. We still want to be considerate of others. But with those opportunities with sports, with, maybe other in-person activities and opportunities, pro wrestling, for instance, since that's what we talk about here, let's be smart, but let's also let's enjoy everything. And, we've had, a hell of a last 12 months. We've probably still got a little bit more ahead. We're really focusing on the emotion and the storytelling and everything with pro wrestling. That's an escape for everything in the real world. And I think that's something that we can all enjoy. There's so much great content out there. Whether it's, one of the more mainstream companies, whether you're more independent wrestling, whatever it is, there's something out there for everybody. Let's support each other. Let's keep positive thoughts, positive energy out there. Everybody wants to bash something that they don't like instead of promoting the things that they do like. I think that's something as a whole wrestling society we can change and make better. But let's come out of this as we really fire right back up, and all these companies and all these people are really excited and getting back in the full swing of things. Let's promote what we love. Let's promote each other. Let's be supportive, and let's stop bashing a little bit as much. If you don't like something, don't watch it. If you do like something, promote it. Help someone else maybe find something, find an outlet, find something that you want. But the emotion and the storytelling is why we all love pro wrestling. And I think when we find those things that touch us, that's where we can really find entertainment, find an escape from all the craziness, and we can all be better as a whole wrestling society and just a society in general. So that's my stuff.
Amen on that one. Well said. Well, before we head to a commercial break, I have to ask Adrian, where can the folks find you on social media? Where can they keep pace and see the amazing lights out champion you are?
All right. If you want more lights out in your life, I am on Facebook. There's a like page. You might get lucky and be able to add me as a friend. Not 100% sure where I'm at there. Twitter at Adrian Surge. Instagram, same thing. I have a YouTube channel as well where I upload some matches and different things if you want to get a look of anything that Dynamo or any other places that I'm working at is doing. Really cool stuff. Happy to interact with anybody. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the platform.
It has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, my friend, and I look forward, whether it be on a podcast with I-70 Sports or just back here on the good old Wrestle Talk podcast. I look forward to it, as does these wonderful co-hosts by my side.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, y'all. Y'all are fantastic. Love coming on here.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Dynamo Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, lights out, Adrian Surge, right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful night and be well.
Absolutely. Take care, y'all.
Peace.
You as well.
All
wow.
Right. Well, that was Adrian Surge, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. And Chris, I want to thank you for being on for the first hour with that Adrian Surge interview. Absolutely loved having you with us alongside it.
It's 2 weeks in a row, Jeremy. They're going to start talking, you know. And
I was going to say.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I hope that you get to take a week off next week. You know, you've been working hard for the company. So
I was going to say 3 weeks in a row for me. So I'm feeling it, but I'm hoping Night Owl makes it back next week. So, oh my gosh, what? Oh, it's really?
Oh, Joey's face is just great.
Joe's gonna go over there and whoop your ass. I'm telling you.
Can we go to break? Can we go to break now?
Yeah, we can go to break. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Maestro and Nightmare Jones. We'll be right back on the Wrestle Talk podcast with Chad Clark. So stick around.
Return to the D was imminent. Step into the mic, it's like a brand new lyricist. I'm here to do what should have been done 10 years ago. You can't fuck with me, I'm stepping out the shadows. So walking overloaded, I'm ready to explode. I lost all self-control. Setting your skills like Highlander, one slice, and I watch your head roll. It's a lyrical kamikaze when I unload on the mic. I'm ending everything I see. It's destruction on sight. Most it sound like a track with no bass. That's a dead beat. Me on the other hand, I'm shattering the concrete. Breaking down the doors, the motion enemies within the opportunities. It's survival. I ain't going nowhere. I got immunity. More calculated and devastating than ever.
Sharper, lyrical spears that pierce straight through the armor. Going harder, farther. Keeping the gear, we'll tear straight to the charts and slaughter any of you motherfuckers that can't see that we the best MCs, capiche? It's the return of
the untouchedness of my mind frame, just letting loose like I'm spraying with no air. Don't give a fuck who it hits or who it is. I'll drop back and split your wig like it's the weekend. Can't feel your face, but it wasn't the cocaine, it was the lead pipe that rattled your brain. Fuck flipping the script, I'm gonna stop and spit all on it. Got my own rules, got my own code. Come and try me, bitch. Get with it again, hit with it. I ain't playing around. I'm the type to leave all my competition buried 6 feet underground. Surface, we emerge from the depths. Hell, like that. Remy bad. Oh shit, fuck my life. Drop the beat, and I'll make the world suffer defeat. Ain't no one fucking with the return of the D.
Sharper, lyrical spears that pierce through the armor. Going harder, farther. Get straight to the charts and slaughter any of you motherfuckers that can't see that we the best MCs, capiche? It's the return of the
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Adrian. I am the co-founder and owner of Cold Meal Productions, and you are listening to the absolute best wrestling podcast there is on the internet. And if you're here, you are lucky that you found it. It is time for Wrestle Talk with Joe and Renee.
And I guess we also have to add the one and only Hardcore Hoss, who absolutely kicks ass behind the boards.
He does.
Like, without a doubt, the show would be nothing without you. Like, without a doubt. And we, not just I, but we greatly appreciate all the work you have done to help get us to the point we are at. I mean, Joe, you know as well as I do, there's just a point where we were just holding the phone right here, speaking into it, and just hoping we don't cut out.
That's right.
But now here we are on StreamYard, man. I mean, and it's not just thanks to Hardcore Hoss. I also have to recognize the amazing sponsors that play a amazing part into the success and continued success of the Wrestle Talk podcast. And they are Everything Combat, Kincaid, Esports Bar KC, Interstate 70 Sports Media, Royal Mills Transportation, Painter's Dream Productions, and of course the FWWC. And before we introduce our next guest, I want to give a special shout out, because this isn't an angry one or even just something I need to bring up. This is something as far as, telling people they need to do something. This goes out to a dear friend of mine. His name's Jacob Eppel. He and his wife, Kayla, are expecting a child this December. And I wanted to give a major shout out to them. I love them to death. They are the world to me. I've known Jacob since high school football days. So we've come a long way. He's out there in the KC area making a difference in students' lives. So to you, Jacob and Kayla, from the bottom of my heart, Mazel Tov, and I hope to see you guys soon. Congratulations. With that, are you guys ready for Chad Clark?
I am ready.
All righty. Got to clear the throat for the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the owner of IPO Sports Marketing, which is based out of Baltimore, Maryland. It is a sports marketing company, as you could already guess, and he specializes in autographs and conventions. All he wants is to provide fans with their chance to meet their favorite wrestlers. Now, where could you go wrong with that? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, as well as Nightmare Jones's pleasure, to welcome to the Wrestle Talk podcast, the one, the only, Chad Clark.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you guys doing tonight?
Wonderful. How are you?
How you been?
Stressed already, and we're 4.5 months out from the next convention, and the other one's not even 2 weeks old, so it's been go already.
I am telling you, when I saw you at the convention, you were like running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Somebody asked you how you were doing, and you said, "Ask me at like 3 o'clock."
Yeah, man, it was a couple months in the making, and then like the morning was like a track meet. They hit the gun, and I ran all day, and then once it was over, it was like instantly over. So it was good. It was a good day. Everybody had a good time, and we had no problems really. So it was good.
Yeah. So what made you want to get into the sports marketing? The memorabilia side of things.
Well, I guess like most people in the business, they started as a collector. So, as a kid, teenager, I was always at the stadium, at the hotels, wherever I could find somebody to sign something, I was there. So it's been a long time. I started when I was a kid, so it's been 30 plus years doing it.
That's cool. Like, and you don't just do like wrestling stuff, but you do autograph stuff with football players, basketball players. Jeremy, he's a big sports fan,
Absolutely.
so that's his type. That's his type of thing.
Yeah, we do. We have a few Oriole players exclusively for autographs and memorabilia. We do a lot of signings with Ravens players, retired Hall of Famers in baseball, football, singers, actors. We did some people from the Bronx Tale. So we do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, Joe's right. I'm a big sports aficionado. I've been kind of on an eBay kick. I hate to say, but I like to say, getting a bunch of graded sports cards. The one I'm holding right now is a Shaquille O'Neal rookie card in mint condition. So yeah,
Cards are real hot right now.
They are. I'm telling you, I
Oh.
got a whole stack. I mean, over there, others are in my condo that moon, but it's nice that, like I said, you're in the introduction. I mentioned that you have this big goal of not just with these conventions, but just in general of getting fans to be able to meet those that they admire, whether it be sports athletes or professional wrestlers. So I wanted to ask, what brought you to that point where you wanted to make an impact this way?
Well, like I've been to some events where they weren't ran very well, or I wasn't happy, or the athlete was just not good, or just something about it wasn't good, and I kind of wanted to take something away from that and make it my own, and make something where I can do my best to make sure that the fan, the athlete, everyone attending has a good day. So that's what I'm doing now. So like I did my first wrestling convention 2 weeks ago, and it tore off. Like I've been to several, so I said I can do this, and I did one, and we got one under our belt, and we're working on the second one, and it's already great names already, and we're not even starting.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta ask, how did you get in touch with like all these big names? Did you just shoot out to everybody you could possibly think of and just go with whoever agreed, or?
Well, I got a lot of friends that are like agents or run small indie promotions or big indie promotions, and you make relationships. So like hey, I know this guy. Hey, I know that guy. Or, now a lot of the wrestlers are calling me directly. Like, for the first convention, I had a few guys call me and ask me, hey, can I come in? Can I get a table? And I was like, sure. So.
Yeah, man, you had the likes of, you had Demolition, which was one of my favorites. As soon as I saw Demolition, I was like, I've got to be there. So you had Demolition, you had Kevin Nash, Nick Aldis, Lance Archer, let's see here. You had Enzo. You had the Rock and Roll Express.
Wow.
we had guys from 70s, 80s, current guys, Hall of Famers. People that were just over. And we had a guy that played Jason in Friday the 13th was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this time we're gonna. I don't want to give up too much, but we're gonna explode way bigger than the first one.
I already know. Like you've got Tugboat coming there. You've got Wendy Richards gonna be there. I mean, you got Chelsea Green that's gonna be there. Soldier Slaughter's just been announced, and you always announcing bigger and bigger people. I'm just waiting for you to announce like Hulk Hogan or The Undertaker, and I'm like.
I would love to be able to announce those guys.
Right?
We have Kurt Angle is going to be here next time already.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be announcing tomorrow, but I'll put it out here now. We are going to do a crab feast with Jimmy Seafood the night before the event. We're going to have some, just general admission to the crab feast, and we're going to have VIPs where a wrestler will sit at your table. You can have dinner with a wrestler,
nice.
And we're going to, and the VIP is going to be a wrestler at your table, and you'll get 30 minutes early admission to the convention.
That's awesome. I'm definitely gonna have to get that. That's freaking awesome. That is definitely worth the price itself. So, who would you say is the biggest celebrity that you've had?
That I've met?
Yes,
I met Donald Trump.
Oh,
I got
nice.
I met Donald Trump. We got a likable one. I've met John Cena, Hulk Hogan, Denzel Washington, Michael Jordan.
That's pretty cool.
Undertaker.
Wow.
So
yeah, man.
Like I said, I've been doing this about 30 years. So
yeah,
I've
been in
Muhammad Ali.
Wow, Muhammad Ali.
What?
Wow.
No way.
Yeah.
That's freaking amazing, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I met some pretty good ones.
Yeah, I could definitely tell. Yeah, that convention was my first ever wrestling convention, and I got my AEW title signed by so many different people, and now I'm just like, I can't wait for the next one because I gotta get more autographs. Like I said,
what I want to do each time is like if we have 55 people the first time, I'm not going to have that many people, but like I want to have always different people. Try not to have the same people if I can help it, to keep new fresh faces coming in, keep you guys happy, and just keep growing and having a bigger convention each time. That's the goal. So
Right. Exactly.
And that's the slogan. It's for the fans. So like anything we can do, like, I'm open to suggestions. Like that, we knew that for a first time convention, we had a few things that we can work on. So like immediately the very next business day, I wrote down, everything that I thought was wrong and everything that I could fix. So we're already on top of that. So next time it'll be even a more smooth, experience for everyone.
I mean, I felt that it went smooth. The parking was definitely crazy because you had vendors that were coming.
That's one of the things. The parking there is, the parking's not that great there, but again, there's parking across the street in the industrial park. But
exactly,
if we can, that we're going to keep working on that. We'll have someone in the main lot and we'll have someone in the lot across the street. I think we're going to try to get maybe like a hospitality cart to bring people back and forth so no one's crossing the street. So we're working on that.
That works. Absolutely. So
the main thing is getting everyone in the door in a timely manner so they can spend their time, wisely.
That is the main thing. I see you got a Macho Man hat, the WrestleMania shirt. So obviously you're a wrestling fan. So how long have you been a wrestling fan? Man,
since I was a little kid and playing with my LJNs and putting red Sharpie on their head as blood, and I just always been a wrestling fan.
So
now I wish I had half of those in the shape I had them in.
Right, man. Like,
but yeah, I've always been a wrestling fan. Like I like the business, like the characters, the storylines, everything. Like, it's an escape.
It definitely is. It most certainly is. Jeremy, do you have any more questions? I know you have a lot of questions.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that the reason you really one thing that motivated you this is because you went to some other conventions where the athletes weren't really that good, and just a myriad of other issues that weren't satisfactory. For me, I wanted to ask, has there been any athlete or personality or celebrity that you've had at one of your conventions that either didn't live up to expectations or just somebody that I guess didn't get the reception that you expected them to?
Not really, because I communicate with the people that I work with. So like, if they need, like if they like a certain water, they like, some kind of snack that they want, we leave little gifts in the room for them when they check in, So we try to avoid all that. We try to do as much as we can to make them happy as well. So, it's kind of a good reflection on my business and my company. So we haven't really. So, we promoted it as the best we can. We advertised as many places as we could. So, I mean, so far, knock on wood, we're good. And if it happens, like I would want anyone, like a fan or one of the wrestlers, to tell me if they weren't happy or if there's something I could do to make their experience a little better.
And see, that's great. That well, good. And that's what you call kind of free promotion right there. It's saying, hey, look, you want a great experience guaranteed? Go to Chad Clark's conventions with IPO Sports Marketing.
So we already have for the Baltimore Celeb Fest. We have dates for next year. We have October is going to be the last one for 21. So we have 3 dates for next year. We're going to do 3 next year. We're going to do January, May again, and October again.
Nice.
Okay.
So
nice.
Is there any? I mean, obviously, it runs the gamut as far as who you would love to have there. Has there been whether it be an athlete or celebrity that you've actively tried to get at one of these conventions, but whether it be due to scheduling or just some other issue, you haven't yet been able to get them to a convention?
Yeah, Hogan. We've tried. A few other guys with conventions have tried. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully someone gets them. I'll be there. But we tried. It just, I don't know. The man has a lot of money. He has the beat shop, and people come to see him there. He really doesn't have to travel or do anything, so it's kind of like an uphill battle. But hopefully someone gets to him. Someone offers him enough to leave Clearwater.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be definitely a good plus. Okay, so talk about the good old wrestling toys. that you kind of sharpied in with blood for the blood and everything. What? Here's the question, because my friend Tyler, God love him, he has a massive wrestling figure collection with all the big figures, the little ones, the rings, all kinds of stuff. He has a Blue Blazer sealed in the box wrestling figure. Now, I bring that up because that's one, for example, he would never touch, take out of the box, whatnot. Was there any wrestling figure or any piece of memorabilia or whatnot that you had growing up that was kind of sacred to you, that you had that feeling like, no, I cannot mess with this?
No, man, I ripped them all open. That was by the time I got into them all, we're talking 85. I was probably 9 or 10, and I didn't know value or anything like that. I just wanted to play with them and make them beat each other up and bust each other open. And I ripped them all open. There was nothing left in the box.
And now you wish that you hadn't.
Every one of them would still be in the box.
Right?
I think the Andre the Giant LJN and brand new in the wrapper is probably like $1,000. I had that one. He was bloody.
Oh my God.
I had a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning into the Wrestle Talk podcast. I'm the Maestro. This is Nightmare Jones, and we are here with the owner of IPO Sports Marketing, based out of Baltimore, Maryland, Chad Clark. Let me tell you, for those that haven't tuned in just yet, if you want to find some real credible conventions, this is the guy you got to go to and you got to check out, because I just asked him earlier if he had any bad experiences with any of those that haven't appeared at one of his conventions yet, and knock on wood for the future. But so far, he has given me the big NO on that, and that's always a positive to hear.
Yeah, again, like, not to say that won't ever change, but like if we can help it, we'll bust butt and try to get it to always stay that way. So guys want to work with us, people want to come to the events, and they're always a good event.
Yeah. So have you ever thought about having the wrestling convention and like put it on like a wrestling show as well?
Stay tuned. We have some announcements to be making.
Oh,
nice.
There we go.
So yeah, I've been in talks with a local promotion, and
nice.
There's going to be some events around town that weekend to kind of make not just come in for the convention. We're going to have the Crab Feast Friday night, the convention Saturday, and possibly wrestling matches on Saturday night. So.
Okay. Well, now I know I'm gonna have to take that entire weekend off.
Yes,
I know.
I would. If I were you, I would take off, and I would start saving some money too, because.
Oh man!
Not to say it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be a nice weekend.
I'm really intrigued on this.
I spent quite a bit of money at the.
Well, good. We appreciate
convention. Let me tell you, I got quite a few. Let's see. I got Tessa Blanchard. I got Tessa Blanchard. I got Lance Archer. I got Sid Vicious. I got iOS. I got.
And that's a rare one. Sid Vicious is a very rare guy to get at a convention.
Yeah,
let me tell you that right now.
You don't know if he's going to show up or not. He might
he
have a
showed.
softball game.
Yeah, he showed, and he had a very good line all day long.
Yep. I would have to say that show, the biggest lines I saw, there were two. The biggest one was the $1 Million Man and then Kevin Nash. Those were like the two.
I heard DiBiase's line was very long, but he doesn't do a lot here. He doesn't come here too much, so.
Yeah, it was very, very.
Like I said, I promise you guys, the lineup this time will definitely blow the last one out of the water from top to bottom.
I cannot wait. We'll have to get you down here, Jeremy. We'll have to see if we can get you down here.
Yeah, guys.
I was gonna say I've been to Maryland many times, man. I tell you, and I had friends that used to live out around Bel Air, Maryland. We went to Baltimore and such. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Joe. Not only do I have to go to West Virginia for some wrestling shows, but I do got to go out to Baltimore and get to one of these conventions, man. I mean, we have sports conventions out here in St. Louis, so it's convenient for that sake, but it's a different experience when you go somewhere else, because not everybody can make the same appearance at different places.
We were in Tampa WrestleMania weekend at a convention, and it was a bunch of different people, and it was
Nice.
It's definitely different going out of
Yeah.
town. Like even we always go to the big event in New York. We go to Albany for WrestleFest, and it's definitely different. So we're going to be at Icons of Wrestling in Philly in September. So we make our rounds as well.
Yeah.
Well, good.
One of the guys I would love to see you guys bring in would be, which is probably never going to happen, would be Stone Cold Steve Austin. But
Yeah, he's another one, man. Like the guy has a filthy amount of money.
right?
He does, he does his podcast. He
Does the shows on TV.
I think unless it's through like WWE Access or something like that, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I would love for it. I would love for it to happen, but
So in all your years of doing, going to conventions and stuff, have you ever came across a celebrity that you just didn't really like? Like you were just like, this dude's like a jerk.
You did say Donald Trump that was there.
There was some, but like I don't want to, as a promoter, I may have to work with somebody one day, and I don't want to have them going back to footage saying, in 2021, you were on a podcast and you said I was an asshole. So I don't want to do that.
That's understandable. There is some, but man, so I gotta know the day of the show. How were your nerves? Because I know that.
Oh man, it was awful. Like I didn't sleep the night before, so I slept maybe 3 hours. I was up early. I got over there. Like the venue had like volleyball before we got to go in, so we had to kind of wait for that to finish. So this time we have the building the whole time ourselves. Nobody before, nobody after. So, but it was my nerves were a wreck. I was sweating. I felt nauseous. I just wanted everything to be good. Like I worked so hard to get it that way. So once we got the doors open and got people in, like it subsided a little bit. But it was still nonstop up until the minute it was over.
It was smooth sailing. Like the lines, you didn't really have to wait long for the lines. It was smooth sailing. Like I gotta say, it was definitely. It was a good event.
So this time our capacity is going to be double what it was last time. Nice. So that's why we're going to have a little bit less guests, so we can kind of keep the line flow the way it was the first time. Mm-hmm. So, and our headliners are going to be way bigger than the last time, so we're going to need line space for sure.
Nice. I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome. I definitely.
I can't post or advertise until the contract's signed, but I would love to throw a name out right now, and I know my ticket sales would sell out in about a week. But I'll wait, and I'm gonna, I want everybody to enjoy the build up of the guys being announced, and and like the thing at Jimmy's, and maybe wrestling matches after. So we want to give everyone like the full experience if we can.
Absolutely, man. That's so. What exactly goes into doing these conventions? Like, I mean, like how do you like prep for it?
Like now, I had a composition book last time for the first one, like things I needed, guests, flights for my people that I was bringing in, vendors, if they pay for their tables, who they were bringing, where I was going to sit them in the room, a DJ, everything. It's just like, I mean, I was been married before, so it was kind of like planning a wedding. Right? Seating chart. This one can't be next to this one, and these guys don't like each other. So it was a lot, man. Like, and I mean, it's rewarding at the end of the day. Like when it was over, I was like, man, it was a good day. Everyone was happy.
Absolutely.
The fruits of my labors came out. So
maybe next time, the Wrestle Talk podcast can have their own table there. Yeah, you never know. I'll be in touch.
With all these cards, you never know.
Let me know.
I will be in touch, man. It's just.
I appreciate you guys having me on a lot.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's a great thing you're doing. It really is, because, for Joe and I, for example, we're longtime wrestling fans, so it's kind of that cool pleasure seeing the wrestlers that we grew up watching. Right. But then you look at, little kids that go to these events, to these conventions and whatnot, and they're real life superheroes. These wrestlers and celebrities in general are like real life superheroes to them. Yeah. And for them to be able to see them, those are the type of memories that they'll remember the rest of their life. And for you to be able to play a big role in that, I mean, yeah, you'll probably think to yourself, man, I'm doing a good thing, but I don't think you'll ever get the grasp the reality of how much of a positive impact you're making on people. So major
I
props.
remember as a kid, you know, like trying to meet these people. So some of these people, and not always were they nice. So like, you know, for them, the kids now to be able to go into a convention, enjoy it, no one be nasty or mean to them, and for them to get a good experience is kind of super rewarding for me. So they don't have to worry about having a bad experience.
Yeah, me growing up, you know, I was an old school wrestling fan, so like Demolition was always my favorite tag team. So
they're great guys.
Just being able to get the autograph and hold on a second, I gotta show you something real quick. Oh, so Demolition action figures are kind of hard to come by, but I ended up paying like $200 for this thing.
Yeah, those are very hard to find.
These are very hard to find, and the fact that I have an autograph by Demolition is like absolutely amazing. It's something I'm going to cherish. It's something I
saw someone with the ultimate rare Rock and Roll Express ones like that. Unsigned, they're $400 not signed.
Wow!
If you can find them, they're like $400. Somebody brought them up and had them signed. It was pretty cool to see them.
I can guarantee you. Man, do you have people there with their belts and like, man, it was just great being around, you know, wrestling fans, and you know, and it's got to be good to like see the smile on like all these fans' faces, and especially the kids, you know, seeing them meet, you know, their idols, like, you know, Tessa Blanchard or Lance Archer or you know, Nick Aldis. So I mean, so how does that feel to see the kids' faces like light up when they get to meet their favorite wrestlers?
Not even the kids, man. Even to see adults, women, children, it's awesome. It's a good feeling. Like it makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So
exactly.
I like it. And people to email me or text me after the fact and thank me, and then a few of my friends congratulate me on a good event. Like it was awesome. It made me want to, you know, keep doing this. So we're going to keep doing them until nobody comes out.
Exactly. Hardcore Haas, do you have any questions, or are you just relaxing tonight?
I am just here in case we need anything from the soundboard.
Okie doke.
Well, we're about to need something from the soundboard soon. I'll tell you that much, because it's almost that time. And hopefully I do good this time, because I haven't the past 2 times I've competed.
Yeah, that's right. See, Chad, what I didn't tell you was that at the end of the podcast, we always do a Wrestle Talk Podcast game show challenge. So you get to do a little bit of trivia tonight with
against me,
the man, the myth, and the legend, the Maestro. So hopefully you're ready for that. It's not going to be too tough for you though.
No, I'm ready. I'm down.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'm ready. To, unless there's anything you want to ask, Joe, I'm ready to roll.
I would say, okay, my last question is, if there was anybody that you could bring in that's like not, you know, like Hulk Hogan, you know, anybody that's actually reachable, who would you want to bring in?
Probably Kenny Omega.
Wow.
He's probably the biggest guy. He's probably the biggest guy in wrestling right now. So,
man, if you brought in Kenny Omega, I can guarantee you that place would sell out like in 2 seconds.
When we announce our headliner, it's going to sell out pretty quick too.
I'm going to just say one quick thing before we do the game show challenge. If there is any, and he makes appearances at a lot of events, but I just haven't gotten a chance to get to one. And if you get him at one of your conventions, I know I'll be there. Mick Foley. I have always wanted to meet Mick Foley.
We'll go to iposportsmarketing.com. I mean, IPO Sports Marketing on Facebook, and we have the events for Celeb Fest, and keep tuned because just stay tuned.
I think
I
he's
will.
telling you something, Jim.
It's not out of the realm of a possibility.
Right.
It's not
I
out of
was
the realm of
gonna say,
possibility.
I think that he's telling you something.
you should tell me stuff.
Just
So
stay tuned because
I'll stay
I
tuned
can't-
on that one.
for a lot of big names, just not just him, but
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to enter the lion's den because it is now time. Hoss, get ready. It is now time for the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. All right, Joe, it's all you, buddy.
All right. Welcome to this week's installment of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. Our contestants are the Maestro Jeremy Karp and Chad Clark from IPO Sports Marketing. Tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast category is titled Celebrities in the WWE. In a few moments, I will give you 3 famous celebrities that were involved in various matches in the WWE. The first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's game show challenge. So basically, I'll give you a couple clues, and all you have to do is answer just shout out who you think that this person was.
so if you give a clue and I know who it is, I just say who it is.
Yep, you just say who it is.
Okay.
You just say who it is.
First person to get 2 right wins.
Yeah, first person to
Okay.
get 2 right wins. All right. So question number 1. This celebrity was a part of a very, very interesting match. It was Bobby Lashley against
Donald Trump, save air match.
Donald Trump would be correct.
Didn't even
was
have a
the
chance
match.
on that one.
One.
Yeah.
That was the match where Vince McMahon obviously got
Hair versus
Looking
hair
back-
match.
Looking back on it, I wish Trump got his head shaved. That would have been from Hernandez.
Well, everybody knew that he wasn't going to let his hair get shaved.
Yeah, that's the depressing part.
That's true. All right, question number 1. This professional athlete competed in WWE's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Shaquille O'Neal.
That would be correct. Wow. I didn't know he knew that one pretty quickly. 1-1. All right. Here you go. This former 2-time Super Bowl champion,
Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor is correct. Chad,
WrestleMania, shoot.
9? I don't know.
9, 6 or 9? 7?
9.
Was it 9?
WrestleMania
It's
11.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
11. It was 11.
Yeah.
11.
WrestleMania 11. So, Chad, congratulations. You have won this week's Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge.
Props to you, man.
Do we have the music hall?
Okay, I got a legitimate question, and no, I don't think anything was rigged or whatnot. I'm not Drake Lee. But Joe, Haas, this is a question for you guys. When was the last time any of us hosts won a game show challenge?
It's been a while.
It has been a while. These guests keep kicking our ass, man. I tell you.
They do.
Male, female, it doesn't matter. They are on the ball when they face us. So
they do. And so, Chad, you got your music played, and since you look like a man that enjoys an alcoholic beverage, I'm going to be sending you a Wrestle Talk Podcast beer mug as well.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. I'll use it.
Absolutely.
Especially summertime's coming. I'll be drinking a lot of beer.
You can put that thing in the freezer, and I will get in touch with you. You can get it customized. Man, it's been great having you on.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
The last thing we need is for you to agree to come back on to the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometime. Probably we'll see if we can get it like closer to the event, so you can really plug that event. And the last thing is, how can people get in touch with IPO Sports Marketing?
You can find us on Facebook under IPO Sports Marketing, Instagram IPO Sports Marketing. If you need to email us, it's iposportsmarketing@gmail.com. Our website is iposportsmarketing.net. And for Celeb Fest tickets, you can go to baltimorecelebfest.com. And we also have an event page on Facebook under Baltimore Celeb Fest 2. And we have, what else? Also on Instagram, every day we share guests and upcoming things. So there's plenty of ways to get a hold of us. It's under Google search. Once you put in Baltimore Celeb Fest 2, a million things pop up. So there's plenty of ways to get in touch.
I would definitely recommend getting your tickets early and
absolutely
checking it out, because he always has, signings with baseball players like Orioles and Ravens. So absolutely check them out.
I appreciate it, guys. Again, thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
it is a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Chad Clark on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Thank you, Chad.
Thanks,
be well.
Yeah. Man, what a show.
Wow.
Great show.
Has been, as always, a blast, without a doubt. And before we close it out, once again, I have to, with honor, give a shout out to our lovely sponsors who make the Wrestle Talk podcast what it is. And that is one of the best damn wrestling podcasts. No, the best damn podcast in the world today. And that is Everything Combat, Kincaid, Esports Bar KC, Interstate 70 Sports Media, Royal Mills Transportation, Painter's Dream Productions, and of course, the FWWC. And Haas, tell us what the wonderful final sponsor is.
Yeah, we can't forget about Wrath Bun Engraving, where you get your Wrestle Talk podcast mug, bar quality mug, everything tastes better out of it. So just hit up Joe, Renee, myself, the Maestro. Hit up any one of us and we'll get you hooked up with it. Mug's just $25 plus shipping, and it's a heck of a deal. So don't want to miss out on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is one hell of a deal. It doesn't get much better than that. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure tonight. And I want to, of course, thank the one and only Hardcore Hoss behind the board and the OG of the WTP. Nightmare Jones, you got anything you want to say before we close it out, my friend?
Oh, man, it's just been an absolute amazing show as always. Next week's going to be just as good. Man, I cannot wait. Look up IPO Sports Marketing. Look them up. Look up Adrian Search. Look up The Snitch. Look up look up the Wrestle Talk podcast. Man, it's been absolutely amazing. And once again, you got to plug your own thing, Jeremy. You got to plug your...
I do. I wanted you to get your closing thoughts in first, because I'm not going to lie. We have lately come up with some big developing news out of I-70 Sports Media. Not only do we have
You have a new co-host, don't you?
Yeah, well, we have a new social media manager. Her name is Eileen, so a big shout out to her. She's our new social media manager. She's going to keep these pages running, get the audiences growing. Very talented, devoted sports fan, and we always love those team members at our company. We are also working on some more surprises, getting more podcasts out there. You have one such as Talking Dynasty, led by our own Adam Frex. You got Andy Cockrell, who hosts the Cardinals Off the Cuff podcast. And folks, it's just getting started. We have so much we're working on, so stick around with us. Meanwhile, you can also find me here on the good old Wrestle Talk podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, He's Nightmare Jones. He's Hardcore Haas. I'm the Maestro Jeremy Karp. Thank you so much. And remember, life is a book full of empty pages just waiting to be written in. Make your lives worth reading. Good night, folks.
Peace.